Week 1 of AEW television Dynamite. AEW Dynamite will debut this coming Wednesday on TNT. It will be taking place in Washington, D.C. I definitely considered going to this, but didn't want to commit to the 6-hour drive there from where I live in North Carolina. But if you are going, it's a historic event, and I'm sure it will be a lot of fun. There's a lot of big matches set up for this card, so I'm going to actually do a little predictions here. The first match, and it's being advertised as so this should be what opens the show, is Sammy Guevara versus Cody Rhodes. And if you haven't watched the road to TNT that AEW has been doing on their YouTube channel, it's definitely worth checking out, especially for this storyline, as they're building this up, as Cody Rhodes has the championship match coming. Could he be overlooking Sammy? And Sammy, being the hungry up-and-comer, just very good stuff from both of them. I'm definitely invested in it. So I think that Sammy Guevara indeed beats Cody Rhodes in this opening match on TNT. And for them to be hyping this up so much as the first match and, taking the time to really do that, I think it's not for no reason. I think that this could be like a 1-2-3 kid moment for Sammy Guevara getting the big upset win that could help catapult his career. He could maybe just winning with a roll-up, catching Cody off guard. I don't think that's a bad idea. So, I like Sammy Guevara to win, and what that does for the title match, I think it would have to put Sammy in the possibility to either take Cody's spot or to be added into the match with Chris Jericho and make it a triple threat match. So, that's certainly a possibility if Sammy does indeed win. If Cody wins, then it'll just be business as usual. But I think you have a chance to really try to make a star here on this first show with Sammy and see if he can either run with it or fall flat. Either way, give him the chance and see what he does. The main event of this show is going to be Chris Jericho teaming with two mystery partners against the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. I have those two mystery partners being LAX, or whatever they're calling them now, as they debuted at the All Out show. I don't really see much other possibility here. I think with LAX debuting at the last show, it kind of tipped their hand here. I wouldn't have minded if they didn't debut at All Out and they made the debut here, the big shock on the first television show. But now I feel like it's kind of the predictable route to go with them, so maybe they'll go in a different direction. I'm not really sure what direction that could be, but I have the team of Jericho and LAX beating the Young Bucks and Kenny. I do think it's important to protect the Young Bucks in tag team matches, as, they're a tag team. They're going to be in the tag team tournament. So it would make sense for them to win, being that they're the actual tag team. But you have LAX on the other side. They could use a big win. And I also don't see Jericho losing, because they've protected him so much. He's 2-0. So, could they do something where someone else gets pinned? Yes, but then you're pinning LAX on their first match. If it is indeed LAX, if they put someone else in there, maybe they could pin them. But in this case, I have Jericho and LAX getting the win to close the show. I predict that Nyla Rose will indeed beat Riho for the first ever women's world title. I feel like this is a foregone conclusion. I don't really care for how they've built to this match. I think Nyla Rose being in the match is fine, but I also do think that they should have built her more properly instead of just the one Battle Royal win. Before that, she had lost her first 2 matches. And, then the thing with Riho, it was really at the last minute that it was announced that the match with her and Shida was going to be for a number 1 contender spot. And I just don't feel like I've gotten enough to really invest in Riho as a challenger. So I just don't feel like it's there. So I think Nyla wins. I think that's an easy prediction, a layup of a prediction. I'd be shocked if Riho walks out with the women's title. And I think you build down the line for a Nyla Rose and Britt Baker match, and I think Britt Baker will be the one to eventually take the title off of her whenever she's done with whatever else she's doing right now. I think she's the one that I would like to see built more around. It's unfortunate that Kylie Ray is no longer there. I was interested in her, and I think she was one of her and Britt Baker were probably the 2 best all-around workers on the female side. Now it's a lot of unknown, and I feel like that's one of the reasons that Riho is even in this spot, is because there's not a lot of investment in a lot of the women on this in the company right now. So I think that's going to be a challenge for them to try to ingratiate the women that some are unfamiliar with into the weekly television shows. So hopefully they're able to build up a stronger division than what they've shown so far. But we will see. I have Nyla Rose winning. We have Brandon Cutler versus MJF. This is the Dungeons and Dragons feud, I guess. They did a good special for Brandon Cutler on the last AEW to TNT, the Road to TNT, I believe. But I've got MJF winning this match. I could definitely see Cutler winning if they want to put over the babyface right away and build him up. But I think they just have gold in MJF, and whether he cheats to win or whatever, I think that anything he does is going to be gold. So I think they're going to build into that. But the WWE logic is that MJF is able to talk so much, and he's able to get heat no matter what, that it won't matter if you beat him. So if they go with that logic, I could definitely see them giving Cutler the win, because MJF ultimately isn't going to lose anything, because he'll always be able to get his heat back. So I could see it going either way, but I'm going to roll with MJF. And as it was recently announced, Hangman Page will face off against Pac. This feels like this should be a pay-per-view match, but it's surprising that they're throwing this out there on a television show that's already sold out, for one, that they announced this so late in the day. I would have expected, maybe they could have done this for one of the shows that hasn't sold out, or one of the future shows. I was surprised that they went with one of the first couple that have already been sold out to just plop this match on. But either way, these first audience for this television show is definitely going to get their money's worth with this match. I have Paige winning if there is indeed a finish, because as this feels like a pay-per-view quality match for me, I could see there being a non-finish. Maybe a time limit draw is something that they could do with, because they are incorporating the time limits, which I think is a great idea. And so you do a time limit draw here, and that builds to an eventual rematch down the line. If I had to make a prediction, that's what I'm going to predict. I'd predict a time limit draw, but once the match does have a rematch, or if this match has a finish, I think they're going to put over Page here to get his... Page here. I didn't even do that on purpose, I swear. But I think it's important for him to get some momentum back after the loss to Jericho for the world title. So we'll see. I'm interested in how they're going to do that because they have two top guys there, and one of them is going to have to lose. But I have Page, and for this one in particular, a time limit draw. And yeah, that's all the matches that have been announced so far. I expect that this is going to be a really fun show to watch. Hopefully, if you're in DC for the show, you have a lot of fun. I'm sure it'll be a great atmosphere. But looking forward to seeing what AEW does.